Hello folks, let's crack on again with the book of Thomas, and it's saying number 4. That character, Jesus, said, "The man old in days will not hesitate to ask a small child 7 days old about the place of life, and he will live. For many who are first will become last, and they will become one and the same." Why did Jesus speak in these like dark sayings? Well, he even said that. He said, "I will utter dark sayings of old." He was an occultist. He was a mystic. But of course, those in the know will understand that the character that everyone refers to as Jesus is their own consciousness operating at a higher level, beyond the ego intellect. Now, the man old in days, 49 years old, wouldn't hesitate to ask a child 7 days old about the place of life. Now, 7 days old is like a pointer or a clue to consider the chakras, the endocrine energy system in the body. It's not actually the physical endocrine system. It's part of what you could describe as the energy body, and the energy body is metaphysical, like electricity. You can't see it, smell it, touch it. If it's charged enough, you can hear it. If it's charged enough and touches you, you'll feel it. So it's a clue about the inner workings of the body. And the child is a reference to the sacred secretion, which is released from the brain once a month, which contains dimethyltryptamine. Okay? But here's the bit that's a bit occult. And occult simply means hidden. That's all it means. And people go, ooh, he's an occultist, and start making spurious accusations. If something's hidden from you, then surely your natural curiosity should drive you to find out what's hidden. If you hide something from a child, the child will look for it. But grown people, they go, oh no, it's the occult, and they run away from it. Oh, it's the devil. It's just absurd. That is programming. They've been programmed to respond that way. For many who are first will become last. And this is a reference to Jesus when he said, "I am the Alpha and the Omega." The Alpha and Omega is the first and last letters of the Greek alphabet, so the beginning and the end. So for many who are first will also be last. Before your ego forms and takes up residence in the brain, thinking it is the boss when it is not, you existed without an ego. You didn't have an intellect. You was a child, and you did what you did. You just did things. You expressed yourself in all these ways. And then society and your parents and your siblings would come along and start to form you and start to put you in your little box. And a child would rebel. These little toddlers, the terrible twos, where they start to fight back. But the pressures of society, culture, starts to form them. And then they get to the age of 7 and the ego's there now. And then they put them in school, and the forming carries on to make you into a citizen, into a square box that will fit into a square hole. They pigeonhole you. Oh, you're clever. You can go to university. You can learn to be a doctor. And you're stupid. You can do stupid jobs. Pack boxes in a factory. And that's what society does to people. It crushes their natural creativity. Crushes their soul. But those who have got in touch with their first love which is the experience of the I am, which is at the beginning of your life. And then the ego comes along, and then you forget your first love. But in meditation, you get back in touch with it. And then it stays with you through your life. So you have the ego intellect, which is the younger brother. But your neighbour, love your neighbour, your higher consciousness, your I am, your essence, guides your ego intellect on the journey through life. And when you decide to leave this stage, the first will be last. The ego gets left and the I am leaves. Consciousness is energy. It can't be created, neither can it be destroyed. That by alone is a definition of immortality, isn't it? And they will become one and the same. And this also alludes to scriptures where it says, the wolf will lie with the lamb. The Apostle Paul is the symbolic wolf in sheep's clothing. The Apostle Paul is symbolic of the ego intellect that is trying to overcome the illusion of separation. And the Apostle Paul in the end was beheaded. It's symbolic of ego death. But you don't really die. It's only your ego that dies, because you realise it's just a mask. It's just an illusion. It's just a story that it tells itself. And the Apostle Paul, he came from the tribe of Benjamin. And the tribe of Benjamin, on their tribal shield, it uses a wolf. And of course the lamb is symbolic of Jesus, higher consciousness. And the lamb is also symbolic of the sacrifice. And the sacrifice is the sacred secretion. It gets burnt off in the brain. The Ark of the Covenant is the rainbow. And as it gets burnt off by an electrical impulse in the fourth ventricle of the brain, you see a rainbow. And that's the promise that God made to man. But you can only do that if your house is clean. Physiologically, eating the right thing. Psychologically, by meditating to clean the shit out. Your body, if you start eating living foods, will clean all the garbage out. Naturally. That's what it does. And your subconscious mind, as you meditate, she'll be turned from the whore of Babylon. Babel means confusion, it's Hebrew. And she'll become the divine mother, Eve. It's quite a long process, cleaning the body out. It takes time. The brain, all the cells replace itself. It can be rebuilt in a year. In the book of Revelation, it talks about New Jerusalem coming from heaven. The word Jerusalem in ancient Hebrew is Yerushalayim, and it means the source of light and knowledge. It's not the city. It's not the country. That's just the stage. That's just the story that the fallen ego intellect has superimposed onto geographic locations to distract the blind. They'll follow that. Noah's Ark is about meditation. In fact, my next video will be about Noah's Ark. I'll explain it to you in simple terms. But people will say, yeah, but Danny, they found Noah's Ark on Mount Ararat. The world's a stage. It's a holographic feedback loop. And if you teach enough people a lie, and they believe it without reasoning with themselves, that lie will become manifest in the physical reality. That's why it says in the book of Genesis, anything they imagine will be possible for them. what was that TV program called? Mully and Sculder, Mulder or whatever it was, the X-Files. The truth is out there. No, it's not. It's in here. And you've got this, like, the majestic 12. That's the 12 cranial nerves. But it captivated entire populations, that TV show. And, you know, alien activity, UFOs. Are those things happening? Yeah, sure they are. Of course they are. Because if it's being imagined or believed by millions or billions of people, then it's going to manifest in this reality. Anything they imagine will be possible for them. So humanity is literally being given a script. They're imagining the script. Imagine. I mage in. Mage means magic. I magic in. So they're imagining this at a subconscious level. It's going into the ego, and they're pondering it, thinking about it. And then it manifests in the reality. So when they find Noah's Ark on a mountain, you know, encapsulated in ice on Mount Ararat in Turkey. Oh, we found proof of Noah's Ark. Yeah, but it doesn't just manifest there. No, it doesn't. It's been there for thousands of years. Because in the void of potential, there is no time. So whatever was imagined now is imagined then. It's a interactive. This reality is an interactive reality TV show, and whatever you imagine will come to you. They call it the law of attraction, the law of manifestation, or whatever they call it. But what is the collective unconscious of humanity ushering in? It's a show of epic proportions. People watch reality TV shows and think they're great. Crap like Big Brother. In England, there's a TV show called Gogglebox, where people at home are watching people at home watching TV. That's just so moronic. It's literally showing you how the feedback loop works. It's right there in front of people's faces. They can't see it because they're blind. Right. And that's saying number 4, with a bit more thrown in there, just for shits and giggles. And those people that live in a dirty house, and they've never cleaned their window, they'll never see. They'll hear me talk and they might say, yeah, I agree with everything he says. It's not about whether you agree with me or not. You have to see it for yourself. If you can't see it for yourself, it's because your house is dirty. So clean your house. It's where you live. Take care, folks.